All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on the mark, right? The MOTB, and what I'm gonna talk about, right, is how we don't necessarily have to even understand and know every single method that Esau is doing with all of these things, because all we have to do is know and have faith in what that is, and not take it when it comes, but understanding all of these different things, what can happen with this MOTB is good, right? Because then it makes you build up even more and more faith as to why you know that you shouldn't take it, because it's just going to be complete and utter slavery, man. Right? So I'm gonna read. This is Revelation chapter 19 and verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone. Right? So they was deceived into taking it. People were deceived because Esau invented a way and gave this thing a different feature to attack every single person's different lusts, man. Right? So let's go into Revelation 13, and I want to read this. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And the cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So, and you know what, I'll read verse 17 as well. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So the MOTB, right, has got something that conquers every single one of these lusts that's going to cause for all of these people that reach these different, how many categories is it? Small, great, rich, poor, free, bond, buy, sell. 8 different categories, right? He's got something to capture every single one of these people that are not of the elect in all of these different 8 categories, man. So someone that's a small man in the world, right, they're going to be captured. There's a feature for them. Someone that's a great man in this world, right, there's a feature to capture them. Someone that's rich in this world, they've got a feature. Someone that's poor in this world, they've got a feature. Someone that's free, they've got a feature. Someone that's bond, they've got a feature to make them want to take it, right? And someone that's ready to wants to buy things, there's a feature for them. And someone that wants to sell things, there's a feature for them, right? So somebody that's got a company, right, and they want to just have the most customers going, right? Well, they're going to take this if you have to take it in order to make it be part of the infrastructure of your company. They're going to take it. They're going to both require their customers to have to use it, right? And they're also going to take it themselves so that they have to use it on somebody else's company that's also made it be a requirement for their company, right? The person that wants to so like that was what I meant for the person that wants to buy things, right? For the person that wants to sell things. So like that's the thing that I meant for somebody that wants to sell things. Somebody that wants to sell things, they've got a company, they want to sell people products. If it becomes mandatory that you need that particular infrastructure in your company to sell things, to sell whatever product you're selling, right? So you might want to open up a restaurant. If it gets made mandatory that you need to have that infrastructure that you can use your hand or your face or that device in your head to pay for items, they're gonna say you need it. If it became mandatory right now to where you needed some type of biometric data to pay for things, certain people that have got companies are gonna make it have to be mandatory, man. They ain't gonna be like, you know what, I'm just gonna try and go for those people that don't wanna use it and have them as my customers instead. They wanna go when someone's got a company or a product, they're always trying to go for the most customers possible because it's about a business. It's all about making money in this world. It's not about trying to push no righteousness. It's not about trying to like, okay, I want to sell vacuum cleaners. That's only a one-time use vacuum. I mean, a one-time purchase vacuum cleaner that you never have to use again in your life. That's not what this world's about. They'll make a vacuum cleaner that might last 2 months, and if you haven't maintained it perfectly, then you're going to need to buy another one. So you end up having to buy 3 or 4 vacuums a year, right? Now, for someone that wants to buy things, there's going to be a feature for them because it's going to be made mandatory to have to use it. It's going to be made mandatory. If you don't have this, you can't buy nothing. And they're going to be deceived into taking it because they're not going to think that you're going to get destroyed from it, because they're going to be more worried about their lust of wanting to buy clothes, wanting to go to concerts, wanting to go to the pub, wanting to buy whatever thing it is that they're going to buy. They're going to be more worried about that than being worried about the destruction that is mentioned in Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. Now, it also mentions people that are free. So a person that's free, they might, the feature that's going to make them want to take it is, well, if you don't take it, we might throw your ass in jail. So are you going to take it? And a lot of these people that care about their freedom so much are going to say, yep, I'll do it then. And it might just even be a threat of it. They might not even get put in there. They might just get threatened of saying it. And then they'll be like, you know what, I'll take it then. Right? The person that's bond, they might offer them freedom. So, okay, you did a non-violent crime. We put you in a jail. But you know what? If you say you'll take this, right? And we've got two different versions. We've got a version that you can put in your hand, right? It's completely safe. Don't worry about it. Or we've got a version that you can put in your head. They're gonna and then they'll say, so you mean if I take this, I can be freed out of prison? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. They're gonna say deal. A lot of these people are gonna say deal. All of those that are not of the elect, right? Now it says poor. So the poor man, the thing that might be used to get him, he's gonna be, okay, if you take this, we'll give you an initial bonus credits that we start off with. So you might start off with, we give you 2,500. That's what they did over in Jamaica. They made this cryptocurrency. Well, they made a central banking digital currency, Jamdex, right? And they gave, I think it was the first 100,000 people that signed up. They gave them all 2,500 of credits when they started up for the first 100,000 people. So they could do something like that with the MOTB. And everyone that's poor is going to be like, you know what, I'm going to do it. Or people that are poor in general anyway, they can just say, okay, if you're poor, take this and we'll give you some credits on there. People that are rich, they might be at risk of losing their funds if they don't do it. So they might have a large bunch of cryptocurrency, but then they make the only way to use your cryptocurrency be through if you take this thing in your hand, because that's the only method that we're going to use to accept paying it, because it has to be regulated. We have to know who's buying what, because there's a whole bunch of people that have lost significant amounts of money with these cryptos, and we can't afford to make people lose money this way anymore. That's one way how to get the rich people, right? The great person, the prison and all the things that I just mentioned there, and the loss of fame can be what gets them. And the small person, the idea of them potentially getting a chance to try again and rebuild themselves. Oh, well, cancel all your debt if you take it. Or you've got 50,000 student debt. Okay, well, we're making a new society anyway. We'll cancel it. And then a lot of these people will take that, man. There's going to be a method and a thing that attacks every single person's lust, man. And that's why it's the hour of temptation, man. It's going to be the hour of temptation. Esau slowly putting everyone into a corner, right? So that he can then try and give them a way out. And that way out, if you accept it, is going to ultimately lead to you getting destroyed, man. Right? And that's why ultimately we're supposed to put our faith in Yahweh Hashem Yoshai. And that's why it's like, that's why the scriptures say that people are going to lose their life for refusing this. So I'm going to read it right now. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of God, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with a Mashiach 1,000 years. So there's three things that you have to overcome here. You have to overcome not worshipping the beast. You have to overcome not worshipping his image, and you have to overcome not receiving the mark, right? You have to do that. Because there's certain people that might say, oh, I don't worship this society, right? I don't worship the image. I don't believe in what doctrines they're pushing, but then they still end up getting chipped anyway. They're going to get destroyed. Because they might not believe that that's that. They might not believe that the RFI is what we're saying it is. So they might still take it, man. And that's why it's easy for me to turn this phone on right now, yeah, and talk and say I wouldn't take it, right? But if Yahweh's not dealing with me in that day, then I will end up taking it. And if Yahweh's not dealing with anybody else in that day, they will end up taking it, despite how many times they said they wouldn't, man. And that's why we're hoping to be of the elect, man. So that we don't get destroyed, man. So that we don't end up, despite all the ways that we've tried to change our ways and ameliorate our ways and become better people according to what the scriptures say, right? If we end up still getting destroyed, man. If we take this thing and there's no repentance from it, man. And that's why it's important to really do some research by yourself, even, to see what it is. Don't just take your pastor's word for it and believe him when he says that it's a 666 tattoo. that's the mark. That's stupid, man. Because when have you ever seen anybody buy anything with a 666 tattoo? You can look up on the internet right now, that same thing that I just mentioned, and you'll see people that have got that tattoo. And they ain't buying or selling nothing with it. They're not able to. And I'm gonna end this lesson there, man. Like, it's very important to not take this thing, man. And I'm gonna end the lesson there. Shalom to the nation of Israel. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, B'Shem Makar Kodash, and shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.